You are watching
Trinity Episcopal School Production Network.
ESPN.
All right, good evening and welcome to this evening's TESPN broadcast Prep League quarterfinal game. Fork Union Military Academy, the number 6 seed in the Prep League, against the host Trinity Episcopal Titans, the 3rd seed. Fork Union comes in at 5-11 on the season. Trinity Episcopal 15-9, and really excited for this one. I'm Rick Hamlin, joined by Ryan Lloyd, and it's tournament time, Ryan.
Yep.
It's great to have a home game. Tough for a lot of the students to get to as spring sports have started and school night, so don't see a huge student section, at least not yet, but as some of these spring practices wrap up, we might see more folks fill in.
Yeah. I know I just came from golf practice and was running as fast as I can to try and get here before the stream starts.
Yeah, and I came from soccer practice, so we're all busy with spring sports, but winter sports are still going, and this will, barring some kind of unforeseen set of events like St. Christopher's or Collegiate upsetting Stab, this will be the last home game of the year here at the Estes Athletic Center. Titans still in good shape to hopefully make next week's state tournament, but highly unlikely to host a game. So we have gotten going. FUMA has the ball first. They miss their first shot, but get the offensive rebound. Ryan, we were here when these teams played earlier this year, and the Titans got a very decisive 74-33 win. But their game at Fork Union was a lot closer. I think a 9-point victory for Trinity. And Fork Union, as the season progressed, did play a lot of the Prep League opponents closer. So they play that zone defense, 2-3. Good pass from Luke Fisher to Leland Coleman, and the Titans draw first blood by getting on the scoreboard at 2-0. Our producer, Hagan Andrews, not here yet, so Ryan and I are kind of announcing and producing, so if there's any problems with the scoreboard, we're doing our best up here. Long 2 there by the Blue Devils. Jordan Anderson is missed. Good rebound by Mason Patrick, and Alex Chaikin hits a 3.
Deep one, too.
A deep one. Another assist for Luke Fisher. That's 2 assists here in the first minute and a half by Fisher.
Yeah.
And good to see Titans off to a good start after a difficult, decisive loss in their last game on Friday against Stab.
Yeah. It's also good to see Davion Brown back out there. I know he was out with an ankle injury, and but he's back on the court for tonight's game.
Yeah, he's a huge part of this team at both ends of the court. Great effort by Mason Patrick. And Mason's been in foul trouble the last couple games, and he's going to get a quick foul in this one. I joked with Mason. I don't know why the refs don't like him, but he fouled out of the Woodbury game in only about 6 minutes of action and got 4 fouls against Stab, and he picks up a quick one here. I did not agree with that call, but that particular official and I have disagreed many times over the year. So just check the most recent state rankings. Titans have moved up to 11th. So looking to be in great shape to make next week's state tournament, and just 1 point behind St. Christopher's in 10th. Another 3 by Alex Chaikin. So a terrific start here the first 2.5 minutes for the Titans. And Hagan Andrew fresh off the lacrosse field. So our whole broadcast crew tonight have been participating in spring sports, but we're all here to bring you this Prep League quarterfinal. And Ryan, one of the things I want to talk about as the broadcast progresses, and great effort by Leland Coleman there, and he gets out in transition. They're going to say it went off Leland's leg. He didn't argue with that call, but thought maybe a foul, but it'll be Fork Union ball. But one of the things I really want to talk about tonight is the Prep League tournament historically, and what a big part of the athletic history of Trinity Episcopal this event has been. Yeah. So just drop some nuggets during the broadcast, and maybe we can do a little interview at halftime about some Prep League tournaments of the past.
Yeah.
But FUMA gets on the board for their first bucket of the game to cut it to 8-2. Chaikin, a third three-pointer by Alex Chaikin. 9 points for Alex in the first less than 4 minutes of this game. And another assist by Fisher, his third early on.
Yeah. That distribution by Fisher is one thing that the Titans count on a lot. He's a great point guard, and his ability to pass the ball is unmatched.
And now Leland Coleman finds Chaikin. This time it's a two-pointer as he hits the layup. Great start for Trinity Episcopal. 13-2, just over 4 minutes into this one. And we know Fork Union, comes in as the 6th seed, 5-11 record. But as I mentioned, they've been playing a lot of close games. They beat Collegiate a couple weeks back, only lost by 5 to St. Christopher's. Played the Titans to, I think, 9-point game up at their place a couple of weeks ago. So it's really good to see Trinity come out as the 3 seed, as the home team, as the favorite, and make an early statement.
Yeah.
Got the pep band in the house tonight, and they sound good tonight. I don't know if they mic themselves up differently, but it sounds more full, their sound. All right, Blue Devils ball. Down 13-2, and their coach Reggie Barnett just got a quick timeout there. Another rebound by Coleman. I think that's at least 3, if not 4, early rebounds for Leland. Trey Coles, 3 from the corner. Good rebound. Mason Patrick, and 1. And Ryan, you might remember me talking on Friday about when Trey Coles shoots those transition threes when he doesn't have a rebounder underneath, and how that is not something that I would encourage him to do, or rather I would say I discourage that. But that one, he had rebounding, so even if he missed, there was an opportunity to follow it in, and that's exactly what Mason Patrick did. Yeah. 16-2. What a start. Titans in the man-to-man. It's been their bread and butter all season. Three-pointer is good by Isaac Rivera, the senior out of Palmyra, Virginia. And for these Fork Union seniors, they're not really in this state tournament hunt, so this is potentially the last game of their high school careers if they aren't able to mount a comeback there. Luke Fisher for 2, and offense has just been super efficient in the early going. I think other than the Leland Coleman turnover, Titans have scored, I think, every possession.
Yeah, they have.
That timeout was called by Coach Blazer.
Jenkins leading the way with 11 points
Yeah.
so far, so he's got over half.
Double figures in the first 5, 18. And then there's also a quarterfinal tonight between Collegiate and St. Christopher's. The Saints beat Collegiate by 2 on Friday in the final regular season game, and they're matching up for the third time. So the winner of that Collegiate St. Chris game will play Stab on Friday, and the winner of this game will play Woodbury Forest. And early on over there, Cougars with the 9-8 lead. That's a game I have a feeling is going to come down to the wire. They played 2 very close games this year. A little bit of a delay here. Go ahead, Ryan.
I know you just looked at the new state rankings that just came out today. I haven't gotten a chance to look at those yet. Where did St. Chris move up any, or what?
So
what's it looking like?
Well, while we have this little delay, let's go through the whole Division I rankings. Paul VI is number 1, and they are, as we talked about Friday, number 1 in the nation in most national polls. Stab number 2, who we saw here on Friday, looking every bit the part of a state title contender. Catholic at number 3, they're 30-2. And beat Trinity pretty decisively. Right behind them, nipping on their heels at 4, is Bishop O'Connell from the same powerful WCAC conference that Paul VI is in. 5th is Blue Ridge. 6, St. Stephen St. Agnes. 7, Woodbury Forest from here in the Prep League, who the Titans beat last week. 8th, Bishop Ireton. And just behind them in 9th is Potomac School. St. Christopher's 10th. Trinity Episcopal 11. Cape Henry Collegiate 12, Episcopal High School 13, and no one else is currently receiving votes. And Episcopal is done. Like, in terms of their conference tournament, they already completed it. So there's nothing they can really do to leap the teams ahead of them. I think the only wild card I would look at is Flint Hill, who has been receiving votes most of the year. They could make a run in their conference tournament and potentially enter into the picture. And then also, I guess if Collegiate were to beat St. Christopher's tonight and somehow find a way to upset Stab, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm on that committee. I actually put the report together every week, so I'm very familiar with all these teams' resumes and very confident that the Titans are in great shape to make the state tournament. DJ, what's up, my man? Good to see you up here in the booth. All right, Titans get a stop there, 18-5 lead. And sorry for viewers at home, but that was TESPN legend, my fellow podcaster from last year, DJ Covington, saying hi to me on FaceTime. And we play on. FUMA has gone man-to-man and didn't seem to matter as Luke Fisher hits a 3 to extend the lead to 21-5. Ryan, did you figure out what that delay was with the officials?
No, it wasn't really quite clear. I know the one came over and talked to the Coach Barnett, at FUMA, but it wasn't really clear what was happening.
Rebound by Fisher. He finds Mason Patrick. missed the layup. Gets
That's
his own rebound. Back to Chaikin. His three no good. Now Coleman, and he finishes with a little scoop layup, and the Titans continue to score virtually every time they've got the ball so far in the first quarter. What a start, 23-5. Nice three-pointer there by the Blue Devils. Tyler Manglikmet hit the three, but Trey Coles answers with a three of his own. 26-8 Titans, and Ryan, you're decent at math. Maybe. Well, my math tells me Trendy's on pace for triple digits right now.
Yeah.
If they can continue scoring at this clip. Trey Coles finds Alex Chaikin. Alex's shot is blocked, but it will stay Trinity ball. 22.7 on the game clock and 22 on the shot clock. So you can virtually hold for the last shot here if you wanted.
Agreed.
Couple subs, Carter Schuma and Devion Brown. And Mason Patrick and Trey Coles get a rest. Both of those guys have been off to a strong start here in the first quarter. Schuma open. Lays it off to Devion Brown. He missed the layup, and FUMA gets what I think is their first defensive rebound of the game.
Yep.
And the game clock down to 8 seconds. Off of the knee of the Fork Union player. Great defending by Luke Fisher. And it'll be Titan ball with 6.7 to go. Plenty of time to get a good shot off. Not a very easy shot, though, as would have liked to see Luke Fisher go a little more north and south with it. But still, overall, you couldn't ask for a much better first quarter. 26-8 in favor of Trinity Episcopal as they look to get win number 16 on the season.
Yep. I'm sure it's glad for all these Titan players, as you know they're really looking to rebound after Fridays, and I think probably the impact of this game is, yeah, you can solidify your state ranking, which is nice. It won't matter a ton, but it's really going to matter what other teams do in their conference games. But in terms of a confidence standpoint, you can come out here and beat FUMA by 30, 40, 50. I think especially for a team that is this not dependent on shooting, but knows where probably the heart of their points lie, getting confident going into probably what's going to be a rough couple of weeks is really important.
Yeah, and you hope if you can continue to play the way the Titans have in the first quarter, that you can also allow a lot of your bench guys to get some minutes tonight, because this could potentially be the last opportunity this year for some of those guys further down the bench to get game minutes. You got to figure your semifinal at Woodbury is likely to be a very close game, and then a state tournament, you're certainly going to be playing an excellent team if you get in. Right now, the way the rankings are, St. Stephen, St. Agnes looks like a possible opponent, but it also could be a Blue Ridge, Bishop Ireton, maybe Potomac. And there's a three by FUMA, so they still have something to say about this one. And Draylon Creasy hits that, the sophomore, and FUMA, 3 of their 4 field goals have been threes. And they're going to get a charge on Leland Coleman there. I think that was a tough call, just in terms of Leland's not the heaviest individual, and that player went down as if Leland weighed 300 pounds. But
yeah, well, you just came from soccer practice, so I'm sure it's something you're used to for today.
Flopping?
Yeah.
Well, Jack Fannin was at our practice today.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. But, yeah, that's part of it. I'll admit, as a soccer coach and player, that sometimes you got to make the most of the contact. Jump ball here. Possession will stay with the Titans. Saw a pair of rec specs on the floor there for Charles Moore. But Trinity maintains possession, 20 on the shot clock. FUMA back in the zone, and Charles Moore gets a steal. And he missed the left-handed layup. Devion Brown with a rebound. Kicks it out, Luke Fisher for 3. And Titans are like, what's that, about 6 for 8 on threes, something like that? Maybe 5 for 7, but shooting a very high percentage here in the first half. It's a great pass by Devion Brown to get that defensive rebound, draw the defenders, and then kick out to Fisher. Good defense here by the boys in white. And Luke Fisher comes away with a rebound. Uses the screen of Coleman.
Oh.
Almost a turnover, but Devion Brown scoops it up, and he traveled with it. I think he got caught between two different minds of what to do there. Alex Chaikin and Mason Patrick come back in for Shuma and Coles. And I think just the second turnover of the game so far for the Titans.
Yeah.
Another 3 by Tyler Manglikmek, and that's the 4th 3 of the first half by FUMA. 12 of their 14 points have come from behind the arc.
Yeah. It's definitely a modern game with all these 3-pointers.
Yep, and there's another one. This one comes up short. Devion Brown tried to save it, but was not able to. Yeah, we've seen more 3s than 2s, and I believe only 1 free throw. Mason Patrick and 1. But a quick turnover, and the Titans will get it right back.
Yep.
Good inbounds play. He's going to give Chaikin a wide open look, and he hits another 3. Beautifully executed inbounds play there. Now Mason Patrick with a steal. He takes it all the way. Mason Patrick with a reverse layup for 2. 34 to 14, 20-point lead for the Titans. Now they are going to get a reaching foul on Devion Brown. 5 minutes till halftime. And Trey Cole's back for Luke Fisher. All right, Ryan, I teased earlier a little bit of talk about the Prep League tournament as FUMA fires it back in. I have, I think, attended or played in or coached every Prep League tournament since 1988. So, as another 3, this one by Jordan Anderson. So, about 35 Prep League tournaments I've seen. Trey Coles all the way, connects on the layup, and timeout called by the Titans. So, at halftime, we didn't talk about this till right now, but at halftime, just to potentially entertain any viewers we might have, why don't you think of some interview questions for me about Prep League tournaments. So as a kid growing up in this area, I attended it 88, 89, 90, 91, 92. Not every single game, but at least part of the tournament. Played in it 93, 94, 95, 96. I guess the late 90s when I was in college, I didn't necessarily see all those. But then from 2000 till now, coached in them, and now as broadcasting. So was part of a winning Prep League tournament team as a player, and also 6 as a coach, Prep League tournament championships. So it's an event that I have a long history with, and I'm a big fan of, and just excited that it's back.
Yeah.
That 3 is no good. Mason Patrick rebounds. His shot is no good, but Leland Coleman with the follow. 38-17 Titans. Offensive explosion continues. That 3 is no good, but FUMA rebounds.
Great.
Leland Coleman with the steal. Finds Devion Brown. Back to Leland Coleman, and that one had a chance to make the highlight tapes, but Leland couldn't quite get it to go. Trey Coles maybe got away with a bit of a foul there.
Yeah.
Chaikin rebounds. Chaikin, deep 3. He didn't even look squared up on that one, and I believe he hit 8 3-pointers when these teams played a couple weeks ago at Fork Union, and what's that, 5 tonight?
5 or 6, I think. He's just been automatic.
FUMA does not like to see Alex Chaikin.
I don't think any opposing team does.
Now Mason Patrick for another 3. Now it's going to be a Fork Union timeout, 44-17. And, you know, we talked last Tuesday when the Titans played Woodbury about what a key game that was to potentially get this 3 seed. And, you know, meanwhile, just across the river, 4th seeded St. Christopher's is in a tight battle with 5th seeded Collegiate. And no disrespect to Fork Union, but I think clearly this is
a bit of a jump.
Half of the bracket you'd prefer to be on.
For sure.
Although Fork Union, we will remind viewers, did beat Collegiate by 2 points.
At Collegiate, too.
Collegiate, yeah.
And just for anyone that is unfamiliar with how this prep league works, I know you coached and played and seen a lot of them. St. Anne's Belfield is the number 1 seed. Woodbury Forest is the number 2 seed. They both get byes.
Correct.
These 2 games is Trinity Episcopal versus FUMA, and then the other quarterfinal is St. Chris versus Collegiate, which we just mentioned. The winner of the Collegiate St. Chris game goes up to Stab to play them, and then the winner of this game goes up to Woodbury and plays Woodbury, and then the winners of that will obviously play each other.
Exactly, and the Prep League is very, at one time had as many as 10 schools in it, currently down at 6, at least for basketball. I think Norfolk Academy is a Prep League member for some sports, but as the Titans in a 2-3 zone here. But so the tournament, for much of its history, was an 8-team event, and the quarterfinals used to all be on the same day in the same gym. So you'd have a quadruple header at like 3, 4:45, 6:30, and 8:15 for the quarters. And
would it be a neutral site, or?
No, it was forever from at least from the 80s when I was first familiar with it until about 2013. It rotated between the 3 Richmond schools. So Collegiate, St. Christopher's, and Trinity would rotate every year. So my freshman year and senior year, it was at Trinity. My sophomore year was at St. Chris. My junior year was at Collegiate. And that was always, you kind of knew in advance the order of how it was going to go. And so, of course, it was clearly an advantage for the Richmond schools, but it also gave you, like I knew from 9th grade, like my senior year, the Prep League tournament will be in my gym. And that was pretty cool. But I also think it's a little more fair now with the higher seeds getting home court advantage. And Luke Fisher hit another shot there. One thing that has changed just in the last 2 years is, so then they went to quarterfinals at the higher seed, but then semis, both semis were at the 1 seed, which I still liked that. I liked having the semis back to back. But then last year they switched it so that the semis are at 2 different locations at the 1 and 2, which my preference would be to have both semis together, but that's not how they're doing it, at least currently. That foul was on Trey Coles, his first, just the 3rd team foul. Only been 6 total fouls here in the first half. Not a lot of turnovers and not a lot of stops for FUMA, as the Titans have 46 points already. And the Blue Devils up to 19. Trey Ferguson penetrates, kicks it out. AK Key for 3, no good. Good job by Shuma to keep it alive. What a pass. Trey Ferguson to Devion Brown. Devion thought he got fouled.
Yeah.
I thought he got fouled, but again, they haven't called too many fouls thus far.
Yeah.
Just 6 total between the 2 teams. And Trey Ferguson knocks that one loose. It'll be FUMA ball.
I think when games are this one-sided, the refs really aren't inclined to call as many fouls because they kind of just want to keep the game moving.
I agree.
Under a minute now left in this first half.
And they're going to call that as a foul on Alex Chaikin. Not sure what more he could have done there. He's in good defensive position, and like number 11, Isaac Rivera, kind of ran right through his chest, but they're going to call it on Chaikin. Looks like Coach Blazer's making the point. How about at the other end when Devion Brown got fouled? But I think the officials aren't trying to hear it when it's a 24-point margin with less than a minute to go in the first half. Now we do have a foul on Rivera. That is just the 2nd on FUMA. So when I was saying 3 fouls on each team, I was actually looking at the timeouts. I should know better. I should be used to these scoreboards, but that was actually just the 2nd foul on FUMA. Chaikin lost the handle that time, and with 35 seconds to go, Blue Devils will have the ball down 24.
Fork Union, I think, looking to get a foul, and they do. That's number 14, Draylon Creasy.
Yeah, it was a strong take by Creasy. That foul is going to be called on Carter Shuma. Creasy short on the first one. So 18 seconds to go. Shot clock is off. Titans have the opportunity to hold for a final shot here if they would like to.
6 fouls on the Titans as a team, but I don't think anyone has 2, so pretty well spread out amount.
Yeah, good to see Mason Patrick not in foul trouble for the first time in a while. With 12 seconds till halftime, Luke Fisher brings it across the timeline. Almost had Chaikin on the back door. Fisher does turn it over, and FUMA gets a last-second layup to go. And the Blue Devils did finish the half there on, I believe, a 6-0 run, their best stretch of the game. And that was a nice finish by Jordan Anderson. Still, though, a great first half for the Titans. Got a little sloppy the last couple minutes, but your halftime score is Trinity Episcopal 46. Fork Union 25. And all right, Ryan, kind of put you on the spot, but let's talk about the Prep League tournament. And like I said, there can't be many people who've witnessed as many of these as I have. So ask me anything.
Yeah. Firstly, I want to know, you have seen, coached, attended, or played in twice the amount of Prep League tournaments as years I've been alive. So what's changed?
Well, like I said, I think
other than the format, which you
I
just mentioned.
I think the biggest change is the format, and also when the league was at 10 teams, which it was for a while. So Blue Ridge, VES, Norfolk Academy, and Christchurch are former members of the Prep League that are no longer in the league. So when it was 10, the top 8 made it. So that was, if you were toward the bottom, that was a big deal just to make the Prep League tournament, because if you got 9th or 10th, you didn't get to go. And then, like I said, as a player, I loved the format of all 4 quarterfinals, same day, same gym. It was always Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so you would get there like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and watch all the games. And that format went on till about 2010 or so. And then as the league got smaller, Blue Ridge and VES moved to more Western Virginia Conference. Norfolk Academy focused on the TCIS, and Christchurch was in the Prep League until just about 3 or 4 years ago. And for the 20, or I guess the 2000s, Christchurch was actually the dominant team in the Prep League and won 5 or 6 Prep League tournaments in about a 7-year stretch. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is not having that Thursday quarterfinal, and that was a lot of fun. My senior year, we played the first game. It was at 2 o'clock. School was still in, so Dr. Aycock let the whole school out to come to the game. So it was like required. So instead of your last period class, so the entire student body was at our game. That was a really fun memory. And actually, for viewers that watched our broadcast of the collegiate game a couple weeks back, when I interviewed Chris Aycock at halftime of that game, he talked about that being one of his biggest memories. It was his freshman year playing in front of the entire school in the Prep League quarterfinal. Was really cool.
So, secondly, I want to talk about probably the shifts in probably the dominant teams. We've seen runs by a lot of teams in Prep League history. You can look up on the banners on the wall. You see Trinity's dominance from about 2012 to 2020. I know you coached, I think, all of those except 2012, or did you?
No, yeah, all of them.
So you coached all of them. So other than that, we know Stab probably right now is the more dominant force. Are there any other? Is there any like way that these teams rotate being at the top, or is it really a consistent 2 or 3 that have really been?
No, I think there have been periods. So like the early 80s, it was Trinity, and you can also see on the banners 80, 82, 83, 84, 85, Trinity won, as well as kind of the 80s and 90s. We had another good run, but in the late 90s, Blue Ridge was really dominant for a while, and then from about 2006 until 2012, Christchurch was pretty dominant. So Trinity has the most Prep League tournament championships, though, with I believe it's 16, and Christchurch is probably second. I don't have the whole list in front of me right now, but definitely Trinity has the most. St. Christopher's has not won one since 1988. Just point that out. They'll try and change that this week, but yeah, I think that and that's kind of the case with most leagues, right? I mean, in the Big 12, Kansas is frequently dominated. Throughout ACC history, Duke, Carolina, other conferences at the high school level, like for example the TCIS, Cape Henry has definitely won their fair share of their conference in the last 20 years or so, but Trinity's had really 3 phases the first half of the 80s, the late 80s to the mid 90s, and then the 2010s, where those were sort of our phases where we got the bulk of those 16 or 17 Prep League basketball championships.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so executive producer Carter Tyree informs me that Alex Shakin has 5 first half threes. Single game record in school history is 9. And Shakin theoretically could break that. He had 8 at Fork Union when they played a couple weeks ago. All right, Ryan, give me at least one more question.
Shoot, I had one, and then I thought about that fact about Shakin, and I've forgotten it.
All right.
Give me.
Well,
I will say it'll come back to me in just a second, but I don't want to move on too quickly. But the collegiate game the collegiate St. Chris game, for anyone who's wondering, is a tight one. St. Chris is currently winning 28-26. They're about to come out at halftime, just like this game. So I think we'll definitely be keeping a close eye on that one and to see. While it might not affect who we play in the Prep League tournament, it's always good to know how your opponents are faring.
Yeah, for sure. And with the Saints just ahead of the Titans right now in the state poll, St. Christopher's 10 and Trinity Episcopal 11. And even if you look at the points in terms of the voting breakdown, it's just 1 point separating them. So a collegiate win tonight, as long as the Titans maintain this and go on to victory, could potentially help Trinity maybe move up to a little bit better seed for the state tournament.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so probably one last, maybe one more after this, but you mentioned watching a lot of Prep League tournaments, playing, and then coaching. Pick one from each of your eras, from watching, playing, and coaching. Which one is your favorite from each era?
Yeah, that's a great question. All right, watching 1989, there was a snowstorm that wiped out the quarterfinals and the semis on the Thursday and Friday. It was at Collegiate that year. So by Saturday morning, the roads were okay. So they played the semis Saturday morning and the championship Saturday afternoon. And Trinity was the 1 seed, but our leading scorer that year, and I was in the 4th or 5th grade, but I went to a lot of the games. The leading scorer that year was Chip Shelton, but Chip had sprained his ankle the week before, so he was out. And so you got to play potentially 2 games in 1 day with your leading scorer out. The semifinal game went to triple overtime. Titans won it by 1 in triple overtime. I believe that was against FUMA, I think. And then in the championship against Woodbury, won in double overtime by like 1 point. So they won 2 games in the same day without their leading scorer and played, I believe it was 5 overtimes, and including in the semi with no time left on the clock. FUMA was tie game. FUMA had 2 free throws. FUMA had 2 free throws. If they just made 1, game's over. Missed them both. And Titans went on to win that 1989 Prep League tournament. So that was an incredible memory for a young Rick Hamlin watching that game. As a player, easily 1996, we won my senior year in overtime against Woodbury. And incredible atmosphere. It was at Trinity. Fans stormed the court after the game, and it's one of easily my top athletic memories as an athlete, winning on your home court and culminating what was at that point 2 consecutive undefeated home seasons. So we didn't lose a home game my junior or senior year. Took a lot of pride in defending home court. And then as a coach, it would have to be 2013. Jalen Hinton hit a buzzer beater to beat Christchurch over at Collegiate, and that gave us Christchurch was very good that year. We actually came in as the 3 seed, upset Fork Union in the semi and upset 1 seed Christchurch in the championship game. And I'll have to show you the video at the end of that game, but it's definitely one of my top 3 favorite games I ever coached. So great memories and perfect timing because we are back for the second half, and the Fork Union Blue Devils pick up right where they left off at the end of the first half as they ended the half on a 6-0 run, and they score immediately to start half number 2 and cut that lead down to 19. Nice spin by Leland Coleman. He missed the layup but got his own rebound.
Yeah. I think the Fork Union defense there kind of faltered as they assumed after Leland made that spin move he'd make it, so it was an easy rebound and a putback for him.
Yeah, good job by Leland to not give up on the play. I think a lot of times when you're going to miss a layup, you almost know as soon as it leaves your hand, so Leland did well to anticipate. Leland with a good rebound there. We are, I wouldn't say short-staffed tonight, but we don't have a stat person per se, but just doing the tally in my head, Leland's got to have at least 7 rebounds, maybe even a little bit more. And as we mentioned, Alex Chaikin hit 5 first-half threes. This time he pulls up for a 2, misses. Good rebound by Draylon Creasy.
Maybe selfishly, I hope that someone told Coach Blazer that Alex is on pace for the record, because that'd be really cool if he broke that tonight.
It would be. There's a foul on Chaikin there. Yeah, I played in the game that set the record. I didn't play much. It's my freshman year. But Mark Widoff hit 9 threes, which is still the school single game record for threes in a game. But yeah, Chaikin had 8 at Fork Union, 5 already in the first half tonight. And he did just pick up his second foul. Both free throws good. 48-29. They're defending Chaikin a little bit closer here this half, and this time Chaikin gets the assist and 1 for Mason Patrick. Good strong move by Mason. And that foul will be on Isaac Rivera, his second.
I'm sure Mason enjoying being on the receiving end of fouls, as he hasn't been the past couple of games.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point, Ryan. And he missed the free throw. Mason's been a pretty good free throw shooter this year. Good D there by Mason Patrick as he forced a difficult shot and then gets the rebound and takes it all the way for 2. Great job by Mason Patrick. Ryan, I teach Mason this year and thought he did a good job there to go straight up, but they are going to call him for a foul. And great student as well. Really have enjoyed having him in my U.S. History Honors class, a class that you also took last year.
I did.
You had great participation. You know, just got to make sure to get those assignments in on time. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I don't think I ever turned in anything late in your class.
If you didn't turn it in late, it's because maybe sometimes you didn't turn it in at all. But no, I'm just joking. In case your mom's watching, just messing with Ryan.
Yep.
All right, he makes 1 of 2 free throws. And the lead sits at 22, 5:22 to go in the third. Luke Fisher spins. Good pass again by Chaikin. Mason Patrick lost the handle. Layup no good by Fork Union. Devion Brown nearly lost the handle. Here's a 3 by Chaikin. That's 6. That is 6. Full timeout called by Coach Blazer.
Titans.
Sorry, Ryan. I was just going to point out. I mean, it's not like it's 6 threes he's made on like 20 attempts. I mean, I think he's maybe shot 8 at the most.
Yeah,
I only remember
agree.
him missing 1, maybe 2. I will say when Mark Widoff made 9, he probably shot at least 18. I mean, he wasn't afraid to put him up, but he was a great shooter and a great role model for young players like I was back then, believe it or not. I was young once, Ryan.
Wow.
I know. I remember when you were young in 8th grade.
Yeah. Did you ride your dinosaur to school?
No, by then we had donkeys.
Ah.
So 55-30. Titans hoping to seal the deal here tonight and earn a trip to Woodbury Forest on Friday. And I would expect that Woodbury will have probably really pretty raucous home court there. That gym gets super loud. Woodbury's had one of their best years in school history as they sit at 22-5. And because, like we talked about, the Prep League tournament for most of its history has been exclusively in Richmond. And just in the last few years, it's now moved to higher seeds. But I don't think Woodbury's ever hosted a Prep League tournament basketball game. So I would imagine they're going to pack that place. And it's going to be a very challenging environment for the visiting team, which currently looks like that visiting team will be Trinity. Another rebound for Devion Brown. Nice finish. Trey Coles for the acrobatic layup. One of the things I love about when Devion Brown gets a defensive rebound is the way he immediately looks to push it and gets his head up. Nice block.
Wow.
By Leland Coleman. That was like a volleyball.
Yeah.
Two-handed spike.
He got up for that one, too. I don't know how much the camera captures of that, but he was probably 2 feet up in the air on that one.
It's a good thing for him that they didn't give a shot fake because he would have flown into the stands, but he timed it perfectly, and now Leland with another rebound. Chaikin for another 3. This one is short.
Oh, there's the shot fake.
Yeah, there's the shot fake, and Leland did go flying, and now we're going to get a foul. I think it's going to be on Chaikin. It is. That's his 3rd. One thing I do think you have to be careful of, because it seems to me they're trying, and maybe it's just the flow of play, but trying to get Chaikin that 3-point record, perhaps. It does seem like they're really looking for him, which it's cool if you get it, but also you got to continue to play in the flow of the game. It can't become so much about getting him the record that you develop bad habits or don't continue to do what's help you build this lead with bigger challenges coming soon. So, go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, I was going to say there's few people that I think would be more focused on that than Coach Blazer, so I think the Titans are in good hands. I don't think he's really a record-chasing type of coach.
Yeah, I would agree.
Also, update on the Collegiate St. Chris game as Devion Brown will get fouled. Collegiate is up by 5, and looks like the 4th quarter is about to start. So that would be, I think, maybe unexpected if Collegiate pulls off the upset, knocking St. Chris out of the tournament. If St. Chris loses to a team that, isn't in the state tournament, I think they'd probably still be in the state tournament, but I think they drop down a couple seeds.
Another acrobatic layup by Trey Coles. This one rims out. Held ball. Possession will keep it here. Good hustle by Colin Edsel. Yeah, I agree, Ryan. I think that while Collegiate has had a solid season, I believe they're 10-16. So losing on your home court to a team who's well below 500 can't help your ranking, that's for sure. Leland Coleman with a great steal from behind. Oh, he tried to get another highlight film type of play and had it blocked from behind. They're actually going to say it last went off of Leland's head. And so it will be FUMA ball. 3 minutes to go in the third. And the Titans up 25. Nice back door. And one as Jordan Anderson got the layup. And they're also going to call Trey Coles for a foul. That is the 4th team foul on Trendy here in the second half. And Anderson completes the three-point play as Jordan Anderson is a senior playing in what's likely to be his last high school game unless FUMA stages probably what would have to be one of the biggest comebacks in Prep League history. Trey Ferguson looked to me like that ball got deflected out of his hand, but they're going to get a backcourt violation. It's 5 straight points for Fork Union. And turn right back over to the Titans. Luke Fisher draws a foul, and what a shot. And if you haven't seen Luke Fisher play a lot, he makes a lot of shots that you would think are lucky, but they're not lucky when you make them that frequently. And what I mean by that is shots from seemingly impossible angles. Doesn't seem to matter if there's defenders hanging all over him. Just such a clever finisher with the ball, and great to see him complete the three-point play. I know he's playing through a little bit of hip pain. As the Titans go to a 1-3-1, this is not a defense we've seen Trendy use much. Leland Coleman able to affect the shot, and Colin Etzel with the rebound. Coleman is open underneath. Great look ahead. Alex Shakin to Leland Coleman for the dunk. Leland's had a great game. Alex has had a great game. And when you're up 27, you got to figure most people have had a great game. That right there is the one thing you tend to give up in that 1-3-1 is those corner threes, but the three is missed. Leland with a steal, Euro step, and he draws a foul. And I had a chance to catch up with Leland's mom, Cynthia, before this game, and she was thrilled to report that Titan alum Henry Coleman, Leland's older brother, and I don't want to butcher the title, but he just got named to like the NCAA Student Athlete Advisory Committee, and I believe she said he is the representative for the SEC, meaning like of all SEC athletes, at least my understanding, he is their member on the advisory board, which is just an incredible credit to Henry and the Coleman family, and also awesome for Trinity to have our alums contributing in such impactful ways off the court. And Henry's Texas A&M team has broken into the top 25, and they're 11-2 in the SEC. So great season for the Aggies and Coach Buzz Williams. And they got a big one tonight against Tennessee, who is, I think, 11th in the nation. So that starts right about now, 7 o'clock on, I think, SEC Network. So looking forward to checking some of that out this evening. Leland made both free throws, and Cameron Lindo is into the game.
Lindo's three-pointer off the mark, but down into the final minute of this third quarter.
Yeah, nice move there, but Etzel's able to get a piece of it. Nice follow, Mason Patrick. He's had a heck of a game. And really, he's had a great season. Just the big thing for Mason is recently he's been foul trouble. And speaking of foul trouble, we got a foul called here against Devion Brown. All right, so it'll be 2 shots for the Blue Devils. 28 seconds left in the third quarter, so shot clock is off as Jordan Anderson hits the first. You see Trey Ferguson check back in for Cameron Lindo. And Anderson hits both free throws. All right, so I hear Coach Blazer calling for 1 shot. I want to hold for the last shot here at the end of this third quarter. Clock down to 12. Mason Patrick goes behind his back, and he's going to draw a foul, not a shooting foul. It'll be the 5th team foul on FUMA, and with 6.2 to go. Sideline out of bounds as Devion Patrick will trigger it in. Lob to Mason Patrick. And Mason makes the layup. And great pass by Devion Brown to Mason Patrick. Assist for Fat Rat. And Mason Patrick, I believe, is up into double figures tonight. And at the end of 3 quarters, Trinity Episcopal 68, Fork Union 39. And Ryan, I think it's probably safe to say that the Titans are headed to Woodbury and a Prep League semifinal on Friday night.
Yeah.
And that's a game that don't think I'll be able to make the trip just now that we're in spring sports, but Woodbury does a great job with their live stream, and definitely one that I'll be glued to my laptop to see the Titans potentially get back to the Prep League Championship for the first time since 2020. You would think it'll be against Stab, but if somehow the Titans could win and the St. Christopher's Collegiate winner, which that's a 1-point game with about 3 minutes to go, but whichever one of them goes to Stab, if somehow they could pull a huge upset against Stab, Trinity actually could potentially host the championship game, which would be pretty cool. But it's hard to imagine the Stab team we saw Friday night, hard to imagine them not taking care of business, especially on their home court.
Yep.
I will say you asked me at halftime about, some memories of Prep League tournaments past. And as a coach, 2013 takes the cake, but 2020, we went up to Stab. We tied for the regular season championship with each 9-1 and split with each other. So home court was decided by a coin flip, and we lost the coin flip, which is a tough way to lose home court advantage. And going up there and beating them on their home court was pretty satisfying. That ranks among my favorites as well. As the Titans get a rebound, Trey Ferguson for 3. Not necessarily what he's best known for, but Mason Patrick with a great rebound. And Mason fights through the contact and finishes. It's probably Mason's best game for a while.
Yeah.
And the lead is up to 31. Colin Edsel knocked it off of the knee of Jordan Anderson. We've seen some really good minutes from Colin Edsel tonight. Happy for him, one of the seniors on this team. He's worked really hard. He also was one of our very first producers on ESPN last year when we got this thing started. We always have the smartest producers, you know, people like Colin Edsel, Ash Bell, and Hagen Andrew, who's on it tonight. Luke Fisher, coast to coast for the layup. And Luke Fisher commits a foul there. And Luke had Isaac Rivera in a headlock. And then I saw Luke put the 2 thumbs up like he wanted to jump ball, but I think that was wishful thinking by Luke.
Yeah, maybe he confused the round shape of a head for a ball. You never know, though.
Looks like Andrew Jones is going to be checking in for Mason Patrick.
Yeah.
Jones gave, we saw him have some pretty good minutes in the stab game in what was otherwise pretty rough night for the Titans on Friday, but Andrew thought played pretty well. Got a bunch of rebounds in a relatively short amount of time. That 3 is short, but FUMA gets the rebound.
Also, we haven't seen Alex Chaikin come back in, so I don't think he's going to be attempting to break that record tonight.
That record probably won't fall. You know, that's where you almost wish it were a closer game where he'd have more opportunities to. But if you joined us late, Alex Chaikin hit 5 threes in the first half, a 6th early in the second half. School single game record is 9, so Chaikin was on pace for it, but he hasn't played too much here in the late third and now into the early fourth quarter with a decisive 30-plus point lead.
Oh.
Trey Ferguson lost his footing. May have gotten tangled up in a Fork Union player's foot or maybe just lost his balance on his own, but loses it for a turnover. And turnovers have been rare tonight for the Titans. So the relatively few turnovers they have had almost catch you off guard because they have been so limited. But the entire starting 5 is out now. And this group has a nice mix with 3 seniors, a junior, and a sophomore. And that's a nice take by Isaac Rivera. Lindo's pass is intercepted by Anderson. And Trey Ferguson knocked it loose, but we're going to get a foul, and it is going to be the 8th team foul, so Fork Union will shoot 1 and 1. We are in well, I was going to say running clock because it ran for about 10 seconds after the whistle, but now it is stopped, and it's 1 and 1.
I would expect a running clock at this point, but I don't know. I guess maybe not yet, but that remains to be seen.
Well, as he hits the first, I think the couple times we've seen running clock this year, I thought it was on free throws they did stop it, but other dead balls they let it run. And he does knock them both down. I also thought 30 was the margin to make it a running clock, and it's now under 30 as Lindo's layup puts the lead back to 29. Loose ball, Andrew Jones came up with it. And Trey Ferguson kicks it out. Cameron Lindo's 3 is off the mark, but it will stay Titan ball. And now Rodney Archer is checking in for Colin Edsel. Colin's gotten quite a bit of playing time tonight and done a great job. Definitely makes you a little bit smaller. Archer probably at about 5'9" or 5'10", coming in for Edsel, who's probably 6'7".
Yeah.
Nice catch there by AK, showing those wide receiver skills, but he missed the layup. AK gets the defensive rebound. His pass is intercepted.
FUMA's going to get an and one.
And one, yeah, nice take there.
Wow.
So it is Jordan Anderson, who's had a good game for the Blue Devils, with a chance to complete the three-point play. And he does. Ryan, let me ask you a question with 4:28 to go here in this game. You have been at just about every home game this year, or maybe all of them even.
Yep.
As Andrew Jones draws a foul, and he's going to shoot two, as well as several away games. And you broadcast the vast majority of home games you and I have together.
Yeah.
This will be our, barring again a huge upset in the other half of the bracket, will be the last game we broadcast together this year. You're just a junior, so hopefully we'll do it again next year, and love to see you on the roll of my sports media class that I'm excited to offer next year. But I was just going to ask you, what are one or two of your fondest memories from broadcasting this 2022-2023 Titan home basketball slate here on TESPN?
I don't know. I think.
I get Trey Ferguson for a foul.
I think probably at least the most entertaining game would have been the St. Chris game that we played against St. Chris here. It ended up as, I think, a 9 or a 10-point margin. 8.
I think it was 8. I think it was 65-57.
Okay. But I think it was a close game throughout, and I think the Titans kind of pulled away towards the end as St. Chris tried to foul to give themselves a chance. But just the atmosphere of that game was great. And, you know, the fans, we got to interview Governor Glenn Youngkin in that game, which I think was a highlight for sure. And then, I don't know, I've just really enjoyed, you know, coming into this. I haven't really played much basketball, but it certainly makes me happy to be up here with you and commentating these games. I'm so glad that we get to bring these to people who can't make it, especially on, you know, nights like these where it's a school night. Spring sports just started. I think a lot of people are tired, so I'm sure we have a good amount of people watching at home. So I think that's really just been the highlight for me, is that St. Chris game and then being able to do this all year. As far as atmosphere that goes, I just mentioned the St. Chris game. Titan night versus Collegiate was a lot of fun. But those would be my two highlight games, would be the St. Chris and Collegiate one.
Yeah, and just a quick update. It looked like Isaac Rivera rolled his ankle there. He walks off under his own power, but certainly in a game with this 26-point margin, you don't want to see anybody get hurt, and
No.
hopefully that's not too serious. Don't know if Isaac plays spring sports himself, but
Yeah.
you don't want this to be something that would hold him out long term. As Anderson hits the free throw. Yeah, I would agree with those. I think atmosphere-wise, the Benedictine game, which typically is one of, if not the best atmosphere most years, was a little flatter, just with the cadets not bringing much of a student section. And also that was kind of an ugly game, although we were able to get the win and beat all three of our closest rivals here at home. But another one that I would point out that I really enjoyed was the Travis Tournament Championship against Stewart, which was just a pretty dominant performance from the beginning by the Titans. I think Stewart was held to something like 5 first quarter points, and
Oh.
Rodney Archer misses the three. Great rebound and stick back by Andrew Jones, and that was a popular bucket among the pretty small student section tonight. Long rebound by Cam Lindo. But the Stewart game, for me, I knew Rodney Archer's three is good as the lefty knocks it down.
Go, Rodney. Getting on the stat sheet.
One final thought on that Stewart game was, well, it was kind of special for me for two reasons. One, just winning the Travis tournament's always special, and for Coach Blazer for getting his first Travis championship, was really happy for him. Another rebound by Andrew Jones. This one is blocked and saved. But also, after watching Devion Brown on the football field this fall, his talent, it was undeniable and really remarkable for a freshman. But that was the night I realized what a great basketball player Devion Brown is as well, the way that he was able to really shut down Curtis Blair, Stewart's leading scorer and best player, a senior Division I bound basketball player. And Devion Brown, in only his third or fourth high school game, just locked him up. And that was so cool to see. And that Stewart team is very good. And they've gone on to, I don't have their exact record, but it's somewhere around like 18-6. I mean, they've got a very good season. And beating them by about 20 points that night was just a really impressive performance. And that's a game I think I'll always remember from this season, because it was kind of Fat Rats coming out party on the basketball court, just like the football game at Benedictine was on the football field. And we have an and one there by A.K. Key as he puts his name on the score sheet tonight. And there can't be too many guys on the Titan roster at this point who have not scored tonight, right? I mean,
yeah, I'm looking down there trying to find anyone who hasn't. I don't think Carter
Coach
Shuma might be the only one. Oh.
Andrew Jones misses, but the follow-up, and A.K. Key actually ends up with 4 points on that possession as he missed the free throw, but ultimately gets the rebound and the stick back, McCarthy-style stick back, in fact, my favorite kind.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a turnover by the Blue Devils there. And looks like we are back to a running clock with that margin back over 30.
Wow.
Rodney Archer made a nice attempt at a crossover move, but he kind of forgot the ball, and he slipped and fell. It will end up being a hell ball, and the Titans will retain possession. And Rodney throws it in to Cam Lindo. Minute and a half to go. Rodney Archer's three.
Oh.
It's not going to count. I think that went in off the shot clock, or at least the top of the backboard. So Fork Union ball. And Rodney Archer with the rebound after that three by Ashton King was off the mark. 1 minute to go in this Prep League quarterfinal. A.K. Key with 7 quick points here in the last couple of minutes. And that extends the lead to 34. Ryan, wish you a great golf season as the Titans look to defend the Prep League Golf Championship.
Oh.
As a nice steal and layup there by Benjamin Jones, the junior from Winfield, West Virginia, with what will probably be the final points of this game, as it looks like the Titans are going to be content to just run out the clock here. Shot clock is off. And Woodbury Forest we're coming your way Friday night as the final seconds roll off. Trinity Episcopal improves to 16-9 on the season. Final score, Trinity Episcopal 86, Fork Union Military Academy 54.
You want to get Blazer for an interview just to talk about how things
Yep.
going for
Yeah, we're going to try and
Friday?
get Coach Blazer for a quick post-game interview. And looks like St. Christopher survives by 1.
No.
No.
Did that?
And
Yeah. Oh yeah, they
looks
did.
like the
Wow.
Saints will move on to play Stab.
See you later.
Right, so like Ryan said, we're gonna try to get Coach Blazer. He's currently checking in on the injured Fork Union player, and then Ryan's gonna try and get him. Stay with us. Still trying to get coach's attention. Yeah, looks like he will be joining us. Thank you to Ryan for getting coach's attention there, and thanks just for all season. We'll keep our fingers crossed. I guess we'll root for obviously the Titans to beat Woodbury, and then if St. Christopher's can somehow upset Stab, we could potentially host, but Stab's pretty tough. So
Yeah.
this is probably our last broadcast of the season, but thank you, Ryan, for all your work. All the different producers we had this year, Hagan Andrew, Ash Bell, Ben Snyder, David Jennings. So thanks to all of them. Thank you to Carter Tyree, who really, without his contributions, these broadcasts would not be possible. And I think Coach is just having a quick word with his guys, and then we should be joined for a little post-game interview pretty soon. And in terms of TESPN content, hope everybody's checked out our podcast with the track athletes who set school records. That's a really entertaining one. Also, the girls basketball players, Farrah Berry and V. Updike, if you haven't seen that yet, was a really fun interview we did with them. Two very thoughtful and intelligent young ladies. And we are hoping this week, I think we're going to have Coach Anna Prilleman join us to sort of recap what was a really good winter season. And it's not over yet because Titan boys and girls basketball is still going. The girls are likely to get a state tournament berth, although that will be finalized for sure on Sunday.
Yeah.
And the boys, I think at this point it's safe to say, have clinched making the state tournament. It's just a matter of seeding. And that will also come out on Sunday.
Speaking of, trying to just buy some more time until Coach gets up here. Speaking of Winter Titan Athletics, the finals for the swim and dive were this weekend, as well as the track and field. We had a few state championships individually for track. I know Lily Verson won the long jump. The 4x200 team of Nathan Sims, William Hoffler, Cornell Allen, and Terrence Deuce Edwards were state champions in that. And I think that was all for track, unless I'm missing one. And then on the swimming side, Patrick Puzon won the 50 free. So great to see Titan Athletics doing really well this winter in all four sports.
Yeah, and the boys track winter track team got second in the state, which was the highest finish ever in our school history in the state track meet. So here's Coach Blazer, who's been kind enough to join us. And Coach, congratulations on surviving and advancing in the first round of the Prep League tournament with a really definitive performance. Really from the jump, guys got off to a fantastic start and were locked in really from the beginning. Talk about tonight's performance.
Yeah, we held them to 8 points in the first quarter. That was our focus. We didn't sustain that necessarily throughout, but I thought we did a pretty good job. But yeah, I thought we were ready to play, and that's what we asked them to do, so they did a great job tonight.
And it was a very balanced effort, but thought really all the guys who played big minutes had good games. Alex Chaikin hit 6 threes. Mason Patrick had probably his best game in a while, was able to stay out of foul trouble, which has been an issue recently. Devion Brown back and looking pretty healthy. Leland made a lot of effort plays at both ends. And Luke, of course, always is good for a couple high degree of difficulty shots that go down. Also, Trey Coles played well. And then even deeper into the bench, you got good minutes from a lot of guys. So you just talk about the balance of this team. And I know with individual type honors that come out late in the year, it's really difficult because this team is so balanced, but just how that makes you difficult to beat and what it's like to coach a team when you really have 5 or 6 guys who on any given night could be your leading scorer.
Yeah, I mean, I love our balance. I think, you can't ignore anyone. Everyone that we have can hurt you if you ignore them. But, I thought it was important for Davion to get a good amount of minutes tonight. He's been out for a while, and I thought he looked pretty healthy. I know he missed a couple layups that he wanted back, but he did a lot of the other stuff that we know is really important, and he'll learn to understand how important that stuff is. But yeah, I think our balance is really good, and we need to find consistency in these performances. And on Friday night, we can't have 2 or 3 guys play okay. We got to have more than that. We got to have 5, 6, 7 guys contribute, not necessarily scoring the basketball, but playing their role and doing it really, really well.
And looking ahead to Friday, that's the next thing I was going to ask you. So Woodbury Forest, team you split with this year, played them close for most of the game up there. It's one that I watched and then kind of got away in the fourth quarter. And then here, I guess a week ago right now, arguably the most complete 4-quarter performance of the season by the Titans. What do you think the keys are heading into semifinal game?
I think they're very comfortable playing at home. I think they're going to play really hard. They're going to play tough. And we have to play not just tough and well, but we got to play smart. And we got to have good possessions on both sides really consistently. And I'm confident that we'll do that. I think our guys really want to win Friday, and we're going to go and we're going to give it our best shot. And I think, everyone at this stage of the game should be confident, and we are.
I think, Ryan, you said you had a question? Yeah, grab my headset.
Hey, so I know earlier in the year we talked to Leland Coleman after a game, and one of the things he mentioned was the amount of work that you guys have put in, not only this season, but in the off season, and especially during the summer. I just wanted to ask you, what was that like being, 6 months out from your season and, getting your guys into the gym and working? What was the thought process on, hey, we need to get ready for the season, and what things did you do to get ready for the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think, first of all, we're lucky to have guys that want to be in the gym in the off season. They do a great job. It's not a chore. They're excited to be in. They want to be in the gym even more than we are. So I think that's the best thing. But, in this game, we do more individual work, skill work in the off season. So we kind of watched what guys struggle with or could improve on from last season, and really improve on those things. So whether it be shooting from certain spots, shooting more on the move. We worked a lot with Leland on driving the ball and being stronger with it in traffic. And then we had new guys come in, like Mason and Trey Coles, some of those guys that aren't fall sport athletes that really got in the gym as well, and built some of that chemistry too with the returning guys. But I'm really proud. I mean, as much as we have new guys, our returning guys have done a really good job of getting better and being better basketball players, and that's a huge reason for our success. And so far, having 11 more wins than last year.
Great. Thank
Good
you
question.
so much.
Yeah.
I'll hand the headset back to Coach Hamlin.
All right, thanks, Ryan. And yeah, I mean, I want to let you get back with your guys, and I'm sure you're ready to start breaking down film and things like that. But just because this probably will be our last chance to chat on air this season, and you've already mentioned 11 more wins than last year, now 16-9. So we moved up to 11th in the state ranking, so particularly with the win tonight, got to feel pretty good that a state bid is very, very likely to come, which is huge progress after last year. So just wanted to finish off with a final question, and Coach Blazer, give you a chance to reflect on the progress that has been made here in year 2 of your tenure as the head coach.
Yeah, I'm always going to work as hard as I can, and not everyone's going to think you're doing the best job all the time, but I just kind of keep my head to focused on what I know is right for our team, and our staff talks about that all the time. So I'm proud of our staff's effort. I'm just most proud of our guys taking a huge step and learning how to win. I think that's what we've done. They didn't know how to win. I was trying to figure out their personalities, and I think we've come a long way, and I'm proud of that. And I'm confident that we're going to have 2 good practices the next day, and their goal is, our team goal is still ahead of us, and we're just going to take it day by day. We're going to lift tomorrow, and we're going to watch film, and then we're going to get a bunch of shots up, and then Thursday will be our prep day.
Well, that sounds great. Congratulations on tonight's win. Congratulations on what's been a really good season, and hopefully still several more games to go with hopefully 2 more in this league tournament, and hopefully a run in the state tournament as well. So
yes, sir.
Congratulations,
Thank you so much,
man.
Coach.
Good job. And
I really appreciate it.
With that, we'll sign off. Thanks to everyone who joined us this whole season. Barring a big upset, this will be our last basketball broadcast of the year, but thanks to everyone who tuned in and made it possible, and we really enjoyed it.